I just love the idea of love. I am such a huge romantic. I love the idea of having my person, being in a relationship, having my soulmate. But God has told me loud and clear that it is not my time yet. So what in the world am I supposed to do in the meantime? I'll tell you. Hey guys, my name is Dami and I'm a faith-based content creator. So today we're going to talk a little bit about singleness and how to deal with the struggles that are associated with it if you are anything like me and just know deep down that you are built for a relationship, but God has told you it is not the time yet. I think this is especially difficult to deal with in today's world when not only are you looking around and you see everybody in relationships, but you also have the media pushing this narrative at you all the time. So how are you supposed to deal with it as a Christian woman who knows her worth but is longing for this companionship? Well, the solution that God has revealed to me is simply to date Jesus instead. Now, I know you probably heard that and are like, what in the world is she talking about? But I'm telling you, this is gold. Not only will you win now in your singleness, but you will also win when you have found that partner, when you have found that dream man, and you have that committed relationship that you've been longing for. So there are 3 key things that I have found most important when trying to prioritize this relationship with God. So let's talk about it. So the first thing, you're going to need to practice your intimacy with God. This means boohoo crying to God, sharing the deepest and darkest secrets that you have within yourself, and building this closeness with Him. This was a step that God had to force me into because I am not very intimate. I have been in way too many relationships and situationships that just completely left me scarred. But the way the Lord went about mending those scars was by leaving me with no other option, no one else to turn to but Him. I remember being in some of the worst places in my life and literally scrolling through my call logs, scrolling through my contacts, and having absolutely no one I felt like I could call. And it was in those moments that I started crying out to the Lord and talking to Him instead, leaning on Him to solve my problems and heal my heart. We have to stop relying on other people to be our knight in shining armor and come in and save the day for us. They can't, because most of the time, the things we are dealing with, the things we are struggling with are God-sized problems, meaning no human, no man can solve it except for God. So start building the habit of turning to God as your first resort. It will save you so much time and so much heartache. Believe me, as a Christian, intimacy is meant to be built first with God and then yourself and then a partner or anyone else, not the other way around. And oftentimes, this world will tell us otherwise. Earlier this week, I was using a public restroom and I heard the song Let Me Love You by Neo playing. And this was a song that I always grew up listening to, but as I was listening to the lyrics, it actually started to baffle me. So if you aren't familiar with the song, I'm definitely not about to sing, but the lyrics go, let me love you and I will love you until you learn to love yourself. That is what the world is teaching us. It's teaching us to first lean on someone else for love, and then we learn to love ourselves. And then if we're a Christian, maybe we squeeze God in there after. No, this is so backwards. We're supposed to first build that intimacy with God. Then if it is His will, it will be with someone else. So stop listening to Let Me Love You by Neo. The second key thing is reciprocation. We're always talking about matching people's energy, but when are we going to start doing that with God? He has already given us His portion. He has shown us His cards, His nature, and He has done His part. But us, on the other hand, we need to catch up. Prioritizing our relationship with God and putting in the effort to intentionally spend time with Him should already be our objective as a Christian. But for us women who are also hoping to be in relationships one day, this is such an important step to practice because we know life gets busy, sometimes we're tired, and sometimes we just don't have the energy. But we know we serve a God who doesn't sleep nor slumber. So in those moments when we're crying out to Him and when we need Him, He shows up. So the least we can do is find time every day to talk to Him, let Him know our heart, and learn more about Him. At the end of the day, it's still for our own benefit. There's nothing in the world that we could give Him that would equate to the sacrifices that He has already made on our behalves and continues to make. So we need to start matching that energy with God and let Him prepare you for what's to come. Because when you get in this relationship and you finally have your person, not every day is going to be easy. Not every day is going to be pretty, but you're still going to have to show up. So why not build that habit now and start preparing now? And finally, the last key thing is commitment. This is definitely a step that God is taking His sweet time to teach me because Lord knows I have some serious commitment issues. But something I've also learned is that you can never expect someone to commit to you if they can't even commit to God. Because I mean, think about it. You're asking someone who can't even commit to the person who loves them more than you ever will to commit to you? Girl, be for real. The harsh reality is that we are such sinful creatures filled with fleeting desires, filled with temptations, and above all, a wicked heart. So if our commitment to something or someone else is only rooted in ourselves, in our own power, yeah, I would be scared to. This is why we see so many secular relationships fail, because either someone's getting cheated on, someone has grown out of love and their desires have changed, or the relationship was built on a rocky foundation to begin with. A foundation that was probably built on fleeting things like our looks, our bodies, or even our wealth. So I'm telling you, stop expecting true commitment from secular things, from things that are rooted in anything other than God. People that haven't based their foundations on God himself. But that applies to you too. You can't expect your dream man to know these things and to abide by these things if you yourself haven't. So start exercising the greatest commitment you can ever make in this life, and that is your commitment to your walk with God. Now I encourage you to implement these steps in your own faith, in your own relationship with Jesus. And if you still feel discouraged, maybe because you're looking at all the men these days and asking God, are there any good men left? But girl, you only need one. God sees your heart and he knows your desires, and he's preparing that perfect person for you. So stay strong. Comment down below something that has helped you in your struggles with singleness. And thank you for watching today's video.